Hey, business building warrior. Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio, the podcast that features success story after success story after success story from students who have gone through proven Amazon course training. We've got hundreds of these stories, and we're about to hear another one. In this case, this is a gentleman who's gone from being a success story to stepping into a leadership role in our community. He's actually built an incredible wholesale business of his own and wants to teach other people how he did it. What tools did he use? What approach did he use to finding the wholesalers? He's got a multiple seven-figure business. As he reports today, he breaks down the numbers, shares the details, a really small team that he's doing this with. And check this out. He lives in the UK and sells in the US without ever seeing or touching his inventory. That's the system he's built. He's using prep centers, as we teach in the Proven Amazon course, as one of your options. You don't have to touch box tape and do that part of the business yourself if you don't want to. You can pay someone else to do it. There's a whole bunch of prep centers out there. So that's what he does. And we've asked him to step into a role to teach us all how to go from knowing nothing about wholesale to finding legitimate sources for Amazon inventory through wholesale networks in 30 days. From 0 to 30. Sounds fast? Well, that's what we're calling it, a sprint to wholesale sprint. If you want details, you can go to provenamazoncourse.com/wholesale, and you'll see the details of the offer there. You'll probably even see a copy of this interview that you're about to hear on that page as well, along with all the details of what you get if you decide to join us on this early 2026 wholesale sprint. It's not going to be expensive. It's not going to be complicated. There's no expensive tools that you have to go buy. This is just people who do wholesale at scale, teaching the rest of us exactly how to find new wholesale sources, how to vet them, and how to find the winning products inside those wholesale catalog lists. So let's spend some time with Stephen. He's going to share a little bit of his background, how he came into this community, some of what he's got going on right now, and you're going to find it very encouraging and inspiring. And once you hear this episode, go to provenamazoncourse.com/wholesale to get in on our wholesale sprint led by Stephen, who you're about to meet right now. So Stephen, welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. Almost forgot the name of my own podcast. Almost said Proven Amazon Course. Same thing.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. It's good to be back. It's been a little while.
It's been a while. You've been on once before or more than that?
So I've been on with my solo story like many years ago now. And then I think I've been on
with
either once or it might have been twice with the mastermind group.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. And we're in a mastermind again now, you and I.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that maybe later on in the episode. But I think what I want to cover today for the listeners, I probably mentioned this in the intro, is just to get into your story, talk some about this new wholesale initiative that we're launching here in early 2026, and just let's have some fun talking wholesale and getting into your background.
Awesome. Yeah, let's do it. So do you want me to go into sort of more of my background?
Yeah, just get us up to speed for people who maybe haven't heard of you in the community before. You've been kind of one of these quiet giants for a while now.
I'm not very active.
You've been on the show. There's people who don't know you, so get us up to speed.
Yeah, so I am living in the UK, and I've been living there since 2015. I had a chance to move over with my job. I grew up in the States and had a chance to move over with my job. And then I always thought I would love to run my own business, do something location independent where, I didn't need to be going to the office and I could sort of set my own schedule and all of this. And I really thought I was going to do that back when I moved around that time. And being in London was going to be like a temporary thing. But then it turns out I liked the job a little bit more than I thought I would, stuck around a little bit longer than I thought I would. But finally in 2019, I got around to deciding this is the year I'm going to start my own business. I found you in Proven Amazon course and dove into that, started trying out with a little private label that didn't actually work very well. And then I realized replens and OA was the thing for me. Somebody pointed me to Jimmy Smith's replens course, and that just clicked perfectly. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. I can do OA like this. The whole business from day one was set up with me doing everything remotely, living in London, but the business is all in the US. So I
Yeah.
was working at the prep center and doing OA and just started to scale that up. And then in 2020, I guess it was like around summer or Q3 2020, maybe, there was a sort of, they call it a wholesale accelerator from Paul and Delia
Hmm.
that I thought, that sounds great. I would like to learn more about wholesale. This seems a bit intimidating to me, and I don't know how to get going with that. So I jumped on that and just sort of followed what they said to do, and it worked. And so I started doing more wholesale. And over time, I sort of shifted to where I'm now doing almost all wholesale and just a tiny bit of OA from some of those replens I had, back years ago. They're still working, and
Still performing.
occasionally I'll stumble into something that still do OA, but mostly just wholesale now.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me another detail I'd forgotten. We've done this accelerator once before, the wholesale accelerator concept once before.
Hmm.
That was, like you mentioned, back in 2020.
Yeah.
And a whole crop of highly successful students resulted, you being one of them.
Yeah.
And so we thought, man, it's been too long. It's been 5 years. Let's do that again. That was a raging success.
Hmm.
So you're heading the charge on that. But before we get into that,
Yeah.
maybe I should mention the link again. I mentioned it probably in the intro, provenamazoncourse.com/wholesale. Simple
Yeah.
link. We'll stick it in the show notes. But before we start talking more about that, let's keep your story going, because you pivoted
Right.
from, now you're remote, living in the UK,
Yes.
doing online arbitrage. You pivoted into wholesale, continued to be remote. Now you happen to be
Yes.
in the US right now because you're visiting family, but typically
Correct.
95% of your time you're in the UK
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
running this business without seeing or touching your inventory, selling exclusively in the United States. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're up to speed now. So fill me in on more of the details. Give me some numbers and how big's your team? Let's just break down the business a little bit.
Yeah. So this year we're just about to close out. I got my first ever 300K month for December, which is awesome.
Nice.
I was a little bit worried because I went pretty heavy into toys this year.
Mhm.
And that's been sort of a mixed bag of good and bad, but it paid off well in December. that was good. And total for the year is going to be right around 2 million. And the team is me, and then I've got one full-time guy doing ops, and I've got one full-time VA doing sourcing, and then I've got another sort of part-time VA that helps out with a few things.
Very healthy business for a couple of you with a couple of VAs.
Yeah. And
And
then
when you say helps with operations, you're talking about the you do your own prep and ship.
no, so sorry, clarify that. I guess the other key part of the team is the prep centers that I work with. So I work with a couple
Gotcha.
different prep centers. When I say operations, so he's doing like most of the day-to-day stuff in terms of managing the inbox, coordinating with suppliers,
Okay.
planning shipments, logging
Okay.
everything,
Gotcha.
all of that stuff,
So
placing the orders.
what's your job?
Yeah, exactly.
Eating
What's my job?
crumpets? What are you
What
doing over there?
what do I actually do? Why am I needed here? It's a good question. It leads me to like part of what I'm trying to figure out for next year is, I've actually gotten the business to a point where I am not super needed, and I think I spend probably too much time like sort of tweaking around things that like don't
Mhm.
really need me to be in them. So
Yes.
one of my big goals for next year is to like deliberately remove myself a bit more from the day-to-day stuff that I'm still doing. The main thing that I am still doing that I probably shouldn't be is feeling like I need to look at and approve all of the stuff that we're buying. So
Yeah.
that's the main thing. And then sort of call myself the CFO role. Haven't tried to delegate that to anybody.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But how many hours a week does that require of you, even when you're inserting yourself? Which, by the way, reminds me of, like, I worked fast food in high school,
Yeah.
and I would be kind of, I was good at the back, cooking and all that. Give me my best two guys. We could handle any crowd.
Yeah.
The senior manager shows up, going store to store, and says, "Hey, I'm here to help." We'd all just like, oh, it's going to be a disaster.
Changes everything.
It's like, we got our routines. We know what we're doing. I'm the pro back. I know you own this place, but
Hmm.
please get out of my kitchen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you kind of feel like that in your own business sometime. I got to imagine if you have good people in place, it kind of feels like that, right?
Yeah, so I think I've tried on and off sort of tracking my time, and I probably average around like 20 hours a week of work that I'm doing in the business. And my goal next year is to get that down. We'll see.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of gray area though of like, what do I consider work? Because I'm in a number of like mastermind groups where I'll, get on, I like chatting with other sellers, and
Hmm.
do I consider that work, or am I
Yeah.
doing that because I enjoy doing it?
Yeah. Is sharpening the axe part of chopping down the tree or not? Who
Yeah.
knows? I think it is, though. So I think we'll count that time. But
Yeah,
it's leading to other opportunities, such as,
exactly.
case in point, what we're doing right now. You have time to be a part of our mastermind, our multiple income stream mastermind. I'll stick
Yeah,
a
which has
link in
been
the
great.
chat. Right. So that opens up other opportunities, such as how about you train other people what it is that you're doing
Mhm.
now that you've stepped back. And Robert Kiyosaki is famous for saying, the less I work, the more money I make. Right. Because I put good people in charge, step back,
Yes.
manage the systems, watch the numbers, pursue new opportunities. That's the multiple income stream theory. And we're living that out. And you're a great case in point of how it could and should be done. Put good
Mhm.
people in place as you scale. And what are your net margins just to be, after everyone but you is paid, if you happen to know
Yeah.
off the top of your head?
Yeah. So I'm actually quite curious to see how it's going to end up once we get books closed for December and everything, because that should boost it a bit. This year's been a bit rocky in some ways. The last I checked, it was looking around 6% net after everything, which is lower than I would want it to be, but it's okay.
Yeah. Well, that's everyone getting paid,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
but except you. So say, at 10%, we'd be talking about a couple 100,000. So
Yep.
6%, we're talking, a little more than half that. That's your take on a
Yeah.
business that's
Hmm.
pretty close to running itself. But you could
Yeah.
definitely scale it too, is the nice thing. I know you're a big
Yeah.
3P Mercury user as well, right?
I
I
I
can't remember.
need yeah. So actually a tricky time for me because I have been a big Replan dashboard user, and
Ah, right.
I am now in the process of getting switched over to do things
Transitioning.
with 3P. So it's going to work out okay, but we're still like learning the system a bit on
You're in the
3P.
process of making that transition. I got you. Well, hopefully it goes
Yeah.
smooth for you. I'm hearing good things from others who've made that transition. Uh,
Yeah.
but as a general rule, the bigger point I'm trying to make, I should say, is you've got the foundation, you've got the
Hmm.
team, you got the
Yeah. Yeah.
tools. You could
And
pour more ASINs into this,
yes, and,
cut
and
out
like
some of the waste, higher margin
there's
stuff, right?
there's so much that could be done better, and like really I have not optimized the business in a lot of ways for maximum profit and maximum sales. Have in many times, I could do this or I could do that, and I sort of will optimize for I'll like have a bit more free time, take a bit more vacation, or do something that's just a bit easier. And anyone who's running the business in person, for instance, like my margins would be way higher if I was doing prep myself. But that's work I don't want to be doing, and couldn't do as things are set now. But people can pull all sorts of different levers to change the numbers on things.
Right. Right. I got you. Yes, there's lots of little levers you could pull to get your margins up, but still a profitable business,
Hmm.
great foundation, opened up opportunities for you to do many other things
Yep.
with the flexibility. Okay, so let's transition into talking about this wholesale strategy or
Yeah.
this wholesale what are we calling it again? What's the name?
The 30-day wholesale sprint,
The
trying to keep it
sprint.
as sort of simple as possible, as just take action. Because I think one of the biggest things I see people thinking about wholesale is that it's way more complicated than it is. And they sort of think it's this whole different thing than like they can do OA, but they can't do wholesale.
Right.
And it's not like a totally different thing. It's really just you're sourcing from different places, but if you have the foundation of how to do OA, you can do wholesale as well. And it's just a question of getting started. And once you get started, then you're off to the races. And so we just want to try to help people get started with some clear actions to take. And in a 30-day period, if you set up your systems for it, you'll start reaching out to potential suppliers, and you are likely to find some suppliers that are going to be good. And you keep doing it, and it's really a numbers game. You just have to reach out to more people and be willing to talk to people. And I've seen for myself, if I am willing to get on phone and talk to people, it's so much more effective than just sending emails.
Oh,
But even if you don't do that, it
yeah.
still works.
Yeah. Hey, pardon the interruption for just a moment, but I've got to thank our sponsor, Seller Board. How do you know if you're making money online as a reseller? Seller Central will show you your revenue, but it doesn't capture all the details, the refunds, the shifting fees, changing supplier prices, overhead. Well, that's why a lot of smart sellers are using Seller Board. silentjim.com/numbers is where you can go to check them out. It's the profit analytics software that's built to keep your numbers straight. Seller Board reconciles every sale and expense in real time. And with FIFO accounting, first in, first out, that means your profit reports stay accurate even when your cost of goods change from batch to batch. It now works with Walmart as well, so you can see your margins across both platforms all in one place. Here's the game changer as well for resellers. Seller Board's new reseller workflow scans products in the store with the mobile app instantly. You can check out your profit potential, add items to your buy list, build offers, print labels, manage inbound FBA shipments, all while Seller Board keeps the profit tracking accurate at every step. For just $15 a month and 2 months free trial, go to Seller Board's website here, silentjim.com/numbers. It's the only way to get the 2 months free, silentjim.com/numbers. There'll be a link in the show notes as well. Understand your numbers today with Seller Board, the accurate profit analytics software. Let's get back to today's episode.
Oh. But even if you don't do that, it still works.
Yeah. Well, I had a podcast guest on, it just popped into my head, remembering that he contacted a handful of wholesalers and they said, no, we don't need any more resellers. We're not working with resellers. So he said, you know what? He was sending out emails. He said, I'm just going to call. And they said, most of them said the same thing, but he felt a little crack in the door and he pursued it. He's like, hey, could I hop on a Zoom? I just want to talk over something. I want to place some orders with you. Like who can I talk to place some orders? Got on the Zoom and turned those no's into yeses. And it wasn't that hard. If you're just waiting on someone to send you an email, though, I mean, your odds are so much lower. And another guy would he found wholesalers within his region. And 2 stories pop out of that, by the way. Arguably one of the most successful sellers in our community. And he's doing Replen's model. He's looking at Keepa charts and selling ASINs that are already in the catalog, nothing new or different, but he only sources from local wholesale. So he can take his truck and pick it up himself and not have to ever pay shipping. But it's the relational component that I wanted to emphasize there. Go to the front door if you have to. Have people that'll do that. Like if they're near you, go set an appointment, take someone to lunch, man. Let's hey, I'm serious. I'm building a real business. Tell them about this community. And that opens doors. But I love this sprint concept that you said accountability. Here's what you're going to do. Here's what you're committing to. We're going to push you. We're going to equip you, tell you what to say, how to find these people. And we're going to be accountable to each other to make this happen in a 30-day period is the goal, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if we give you sort of the structure of here's some SOPs, here's some filters you can use in Keepa to find, potential leads to reach out to. Here's how to set things up and reach out to people. And then we'll have some live calls where, we can discuss and people can ask questions of whatever you need a little bit help with. And then, once you get going, hopefully the sort of group component, people, encouraging each other and some accountability to see other people succeeding will help to, push others to more success as well.
So what's the logistic? If I jump into this group and I'm going to be held accountable by the group, break down the experience for me a little bit more. Are they all going to be gathered in a community online?
Yeah. So we'll have a community online where people can post questions and get answers within that. We're going to have set, I think 4 weeks scheduled live call each week, and then maybe extra sometime between, because I'm going to be doing those live calls during daytime or during sort of lunchtime hours for the US because I'll be in the UK. And I think Jimmy may jump in for something at, other hours if that's needed. But yeah, we'll have live calls and people can ask questions there and I'll talk through, what we're trying to get people focused on. And every day I'll be posting some new content of, something people can take action on. something people can use to help, keep the momentum going, keep moving forward a little bit every day.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's going to be a great experience. And we talk all the time around here about the power of relationships and community and camaraderie and the accountability that comes with that, encouraging each other on. The people who make it do those kind of things. The people who struggle tend not to. They're lone wolves who try to do this in isolation. That's a mistake. We've seen the evidence over 2 decades now. And it hits me in the face every day. If someone contacts me, I'm struggling, I've been trying this for a while, the first question I'll ask often is, who are you doing this with? And the answer 95% of the time is, well, no one really, just me. My spouse thinks I'm a little crazy, or maybe they help a little bit with some of the prep, but
Yep.
they're doing it alone. And that's not the formula for success. It's do it with others, and suddenly the opportunity skyrockets. It's your odds of success skyrockets. So this is, if nothing else, this is that. You're going to form some friendships and some relationships, and I'm sure many of those will continue well after the month is over. Nothing keeps you from forming a mastermind on your own, or getting in connection with these people. And I know you've done a fair bit of that yourself.
Yeah. So I would definitely encourage anyone who gets into this sort of thing, find others who are, active in the group, and, you want to stay in touch with them, reach out to those people, and, form like a lasting group to, continue talking with them more afterward too. That's something I've done before, and it was really helpful for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things, and let's make sure we've covered the sprint.
Yes.
Enough. The website again, provenamazoncourse.com/wholesale. And Stephen and Jimmy will be in charge of the group and delivering the content and getting things set up. It's going to be mid-January, early to mid-January start date. All the details are on that website. As we're recording this, we're still nailing down some details, but get over there, put in your email address, check it out. It may already be up and rocking by the time you hear this episode, in which case still get to the website and see how you can be a part of this. We're recording all of those sessions, by the way.
Yes,
so if someone misses one or comes in a little late, they're still taken care of, right? Any other details about that we need to emphasize? I think the website really spells it out.
Yeah, it does. Just sort of walking through the high level that we'd discussed doing was week one, sort of just getting the foundation set of this is what you need to get moving. And then once you get started, you're gonna get some more info on systems for scaling a bit. Past that, some CRM, how to address some objections that you're likely to run into, looking at some, analysis of products and cash flow, which is obviously going to be important once you start getting price lists from people and you're trying to decide, do we order this or that and whatever. And then get into growth scaling with hiring VAs. And once you learn the process, you obviously should be looking to get somebody else to help you do that process, because you don't need to do it all yourself.
Yeah, fantastic. I love it. Anytime I hear list, price list, buy list, list of any kind, wholesale list, I'm thinking 3P Mercury loves its lists, man. Dump all those ASINs in. And that's one of the reasons I'm getting more excited about wholesale than I would have been otherwise, say 2 years ago. It used to be people would say, well, should I do OA? Should I do RA? Online arbitrage, retail, or should I do wholesale? I don't know, which is better. Like, they all work great. But the thing I'm starting to get excited about with wholesale now is you're getting big catalogs. You can get a spreadsheet of just tons of products, run a little filter, find all the ASINs hidden in there. You do a little manual combing too to find the ones you missed. Dump them into 3P and let the filters go. Just let the filters do what the filters do. We got people adding 1,000 products a day right now because they're getting lists in creative ways like that, and just letting the filters run and find the gold, right?
Yeah. And it's amazing.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, a lot of people, I think, maybe have a misconception with wholesale that also you need to order huge quantities of stuff.
Right.
And in many cases, you can find a big catalog that has hundreds of ASINs, right? And if you load those into a tool like 3P, you can say, maybe the supplier has a minimum order of $1,000. And that $1,000 for your initial order can be one case of this and one case of this and one case of this. You order, 12 of each item. You're not going super deep on anything. Just one case of all the stuff you want to test. That'll get you to $1,000. And then, once that comes through, you see which of those worked out well and you want to replan those. And then you pull back up 3P and you'll see the list of all the other ASINs you didn't order last time and which ones are looking good now. And each time you go to order, you add a few more new things and you just keep adding more.
Yes. So you can hit those minimums easy with multiple
Yeah.
ASINs instead of
Hmm.
bulk cases.
Yeah.
And who says you have to buy it from just the wholesaler? Go pick up a couple test units retail. Use
Hmm.
Google and find it somewhere else. You don't have to lock in just because you're approved to the wholesaler. Doesn't mean you have to only buy from them. Right? So
Right.
lots of ways to pivot. The main thing is getting big lists of ASINs is a good thing. It makes a lot of options open up to you for this business model. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I wanted to be sure and talk about is the mastermind that we're in, and we can just stick a link to that as we're heading into the new year,
Yeah. It's been
2026.
fascinating.
A lot of people are, making New Year's resolutions and wanting to surround yourself. So the highest level mastermind we have in our community, you're part of that with a
Yeah.
handful of other big achievers. And for the most part, we've worked kind of like we're working with you, like, all right, let's figure out a way to bring your gifts and skills and talents into the spotlight a little bit, put you on this leadership journey. I'm always encouraging people into leadership. If they're
Yeah.
succeeding at any level, the next step is often just stepping into that leadership role. Talk me through that a little bit. How's the mastermind impacted you? And talk to us about masterminds in general for a moment.
Yeah. Well, so I guess first, just talking about masterminds in general, like going back to that wholesale accelerator thing I did with you guys back in 2020, I got my first mastermind group out of that and met with those guys for quite a while after that. And it was super helpful just, having people who are working on the same thing, like-minded people, and get to know them a bit over time. And then over the years, I've had a few different mastermind groups. I think you'll see if you look back in podcast history, I've been on with one, maybe two calls with a mastermind group before. So that's been great for me. And I've really appreciated that. And then this new mastermind has been, as you said, the sort of level up of what is the mastermind doing. And I wouldn't be here doing this 30-day wholesale sprint if it wasn't for you guys in the mastermind sort of encouraging me that I need to be stepping up into leadership and teaching in some ways and trying to do something more than just, whatever I was doing in my business. And I've appreciated that. And it's helpful to have that encouragement from people who sort of know what to do with this sort of thing. I would feel like, oh, I don't know how to do that. I'm not ready for it. But you push me a bit in a helpful way, and here we are. And
Outstanding. Yeah.
yeah, hearing more about the, behind the scenes of what other people are working on, it's just been fascinating too to learn about that.
Yeah, and this is an open invitation to step into that. I think the link is silentjimdotcom/MIS as in multiple income stream. If that's wrong, go to the show notes. The right link is there. Kind of
Yeah.
going from memory. It's been a while since I talked about that. But yeah, we'd love to pick up a handful of new members. And we've only done 2 masterminds. I've only done 2 in my life. This is the second one that I launched under my name. And the first one, we were just looking back here a year or so ago and going down the list of the names of the people who were involved and where they are now and what they're up to. Not that it can be fully credited to the mastermind, but a good chunk of it, you could say, would never have happened. And we're talking like a household name brand coffee was launched out of that group. Like, whoa.
Wild.
I remember,
Yeah.
I'm talking about Mike Brown of Death Wish Coffee. We sat around as a mastermind group and helped him think through the math as to whether he should buy his own roasting machine or outsource it when he was, selling a few $1,000s a month worth of his coffee. Well, now he's in 35,000 retail grocery stores.
Wow.
And, the rest is history, right? But little ideas like that and the people you surround yourself with at the conception of your ideas and helping shape and people kind of keeping you from going off the rails, it's invaluable. And so open invitation, come join Stephen and I and Jimmy and Nate on our coaching team and a handful of other great students around the world. This is what we're doing, a weekly meeting and helping form multiple income streams in each other's lives and businesses. So yeah, there's that. Check it out in the show notes. Well, this has been a good episode, man. I want to leave the door open if there's anything else you were hoping to share, but that's what I had on my mind today.
There's nothing else that comes to mind in particular. Happy I was able to share and give an update on what's going on, and I hope we were able to help people get started with their first wholesale accounts next year as well. I'm excited to see what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. You're the right guy for the job. You're going to be surrounded with some really good people who jump into this. It's not going to be expensive.
Mm.
So if you want to join Stephen Osselbrook and Jimmy Smith, I'll be a part of this as well, and a handful of other wholesale leaders in our community who are doing some big things, and do this sprint with us in 30 days. The goal being we want you to find some great wholesale sources that you can tap into and kind of dip your toe into the wholesale game with some people who know what they're talking about, supporting you along the way. Go to provenamazoncourse.com/wholesale. Or as always, just go to the show notes for this episode. All the links are right there. Or contact us anytime as well. If you want to have a conversation about any of the resources, the coaching, the courses we offer, the free resources, the high-end one-on-one consulting and coaching, reach out to us on our calendar. There's a link at silentjimdotcom to coaching, and there's a page with phone number and text and all that. You can reach out to us or set up a Zoom. We'd love to chat with you. But hey, Stephen, great job, man. Happy New Year, my friend. Excited to launch this, and we'll have a date very soon for folks if they go to that website we mentioned, right?
Yeah, awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for your time.
All right, cool. See ya.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. I've got one last announcement. It's a thank you to our sponsor today, Seller Board. You can find them at silentjimdotcom/numbers. Hey, seller, if you want to know your true profits, Seller Board tracks every fee, refund, the shifting cost of goods, plus a full reseller workflow. Everything from scanning in store to shipping your FBA shipments. Pricing starts as little as $15. And if you use the link I gave you, you get 2 months of a free trial. Get started at silentjim.com/numbers. Thanks for listening today. We'll have another great episode for you very soon.